Hello, hello, hello. It's Vivian McGrath. I'm Vivian McGrath from vivianmcgrath.com, and it's really good to see you. I'm talking about the three things that high value women never do. And a lot of people are looking to become that high value woman because they know that if they can become a high value woman, they have a better chance of attracting high value people into their lives and success and loving relationships and all that. And I always thought I was that when I was young, but when I really thought about it, I realized that, a high value woman, what is that? A high value woman is a woman who values herself, who puts herself first, who nurtures her own needs, not sacrificing herself at the expense of everybody else's needs. And as women, we're often taught that that's a really good thing, to put other people's needs first and to nurture everybody else. But, it's a bit like the emergency oxygen on a plane. You're no good for anybody else unless you're good within yourself first. So you put the oxygen on yourself first, then you can put the oxygen on your child or help somebody else in need. And so it's not selfish. A lot of us think if we put our needs first that it's really, really selfish. But it's not that. I call it self-caring. And it's deeper than that, because we are actually a mirror to the world. And if we don't care about ourselves and if we don't put our needs first, then what are we going to attract? We're going to attract other people who don't put our needs first, who don't respect us, don't care about us. Because if we don't care about ourselves, well, why should they? And so it really does go deeper. And if you don't believe in yourself and your potential and want to fulfill your potential at work because you don't believe in yourself, you have self-doubt, well, then guess what's going to happen? You won't fulfill your potential in your career. We are a mirror. And so a high value woman is someone who really values herself, who knows her own worth, who surrounds herself only with people who are going to really lift them up and bring out the best in them and value them. And she's unafraid to set strong boundaries and show up for herself. And a lot of women find this really, really, really hard. And I did at first too, because you sort of think it's selfish. You think, what are other people going to think of me if I show up for myself and I set boundaries? But I just want to talk about, so that's what a high value woman is, someone who really values herself, puts her needs first, shows up for herself, respects herself. And these are the three things that a high value woman is never, ever going to do. Firstly, she's never going to hand away her power. She's anchored within herself. So she's not going to, her happiness is not going to depend on what happens externally. She's centered and balanced within. And she would never have change her behavior, second guessing other people and people pleasing. She'd never depend her happiness on the mood or the approval of others. And she's never going to have her moods determined by what others say or do. And lastly, she would never base her opinion of herself on what other people think. She's very strong in her self-worth. She knows who she is, not in an arrogant way, but just in a calmly confident and really balanced way. She's not going to hand her power to what others say and do or think of her, because she's centered within. She knows who she is. She knows her worth. The second thing that a high value woman would never do is accept crumbs. she, as I said, she's complete within, with or without a man or woman in her life. So she's never going to chase and try and prove she's worthy of somebody's love, because she knows already that she's lovable. If she gets an inkling of a red flag, she's not going to ignore that and try and do more, prove more, change her behavior to try and fix that and make the relationship right when she already knows it's not. She's not going to waste her time with that. And she's not depending on another person to make her feel good about herself, because she doesn't need that. She knows her worth, she values herself, and she's looking for somebody who's worthy of her. And again, not in an arrogant way, but she knows that she deserves to find a partner who's going to lift her up, who's going to make her laugh, share vulnerable moments together without using that to hurt each other. She's looking for somebody that has common values, interests, and goals, who she really likes, not just sort of loves and wants to go to bed with them, but really likes them. They're somebody who brings out the best in her and she brings out the best in them. And somebody who's non-committal or unavailable, there's no way that they're good enough for her. She's never going to accept crumbs. Why should she? When she can accept somebody available, who's there, present for her. And if they're not, well, then she's fine. She's completely whole within, with or without a partner. And she's so balanced and confident within herself and her worth that she knows that they'll come. They might not be now, but she's happy to wait and not accept crumbs or ever accept less than she deserves. And the third thing a high-value woman would never do, she would never fear failure or rejection, because she doesn't see it. That's not even a word that enters her vocabulary, because somebody who fears failure is never going to go for their dreams. They're never going to take risks. Now, a high-value woman never gambles. She does take risks. She puts herself out there. She's unafraid to show up for herself and really go for her dreams, because she's not afraid of what other people think. So firstly, she'll say to herself, well, what's the worst that can happen? And look at the reality versus magnifying the fear of, oh my God, what if I do that? And what are other people going to think of me? They're going to reject me. She's high in self-worth. She doesn't fear rejection. So she doesn't fear what other people think. And failure, she just thinks, well, if I don't put myself out there and go for my dreams and take risks and live life as an amazing adventure, I'm never going to fulfill my potential. So that's a risk worth taking. And if she fails, she just goes, okay, what's the gift in this? What can I celebrate about that? What can I ask myself that I can learn from this, so that next time I can just pick myself up and do it better next time? And, you know, a lot of women come to me and they feel and think that they are high value women because they're outwardly strong, they're outwardly successful. People value them and they think, wow, you know, they're so lucky, they've got this great career, they've got a good family, you know, all that sort of stuff. But actually, they're not high value women because they don't value themselves, and they live with a lot of secret shame that they're not good enough. They live with that total fear of failure. They hand away their power on a daily basis. They accept crumbs of attention in relationships that are just not worthy of them and just not good enough for them. And then they wonder why they're stuck in this pattern of really unhappy, unbalanced relationships, and that are leaving them feeling even more unworthable and even more unlovable, and why they're now losing motivation in their career because they're playing safe, they're playing small, they're staying stuck in jobs that they hate because they're too frightened to take that risk to go for what they really, really want to do. So I hope that's helpful. And if you really want to become that high value woman who values herself, who never, ever hands away for her power, who doesn't accept crumbs and less than she deserves, and never fears failure or rejection, because she's so strong and empowered and within, and she knows how to set boundaries without fear of confrontation, and will never accept less than what she deserves ever again, then please do watch my free masterclass, my 5-step detox method to liberate yourself in life and love, how to break free of a pattern of toxic relationships, fall back in love with you and your life, and never settle for anything less than you deserve again. And when you watch that, it really resonates with you, and you are ready to say, you know what, I'm not the high value woman enough yet, and that's where I want to be, because I'm tired of living a life that's just average, and I'm unhappy, and I'm not fulfilling my potential or my dreams. Then you can also book a call with me. So I'll leave the link in the description or comments below. And I hope that's helpful. And I really look forward to seeing you in my next video. And I'm just trying to look for the button to turn this off. And also, if these videos resonate with you, please do, if you're on YouTube, click the subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notified when I'm going live next, because I do these very regularly, at least like 3 times a week. So don't miss out on them. And look for the link to my free webinar, How to Recover from Toxic Relationships, Fall Back in Love with Your Life, and Never, Ever Settle for Less Than You Deserve Again, in the description or the comments below. Bye for now.